Hello everyone, welcome along to another video on the channel today. It's a new match review, of course, and it's one of the first I've done of the season. So we'll reflect on last night's draw, 1-1 away at Cardiff. Plenty to talk about in this game, not just about the obvious things, of course. The sending off is something we will touch upon as we progress into this, but there's also a couple of other things about the game that I'd like to talk about as well. But we'll touch on them a little bit later on, and just quickly reflect on that result, reflecting on the game itself before we get into the main part of this. I thought the performance itself was okay. I didn't think we played great in the first half, and that's being brief. We'll go into it in a little bit more detail very shortly, but reflecting on the game itself, I didn't think it was a fantastic performance. I thought the draw was probably a fair result in the end, considering I felt both teams could have played a hell of a lot more better than they did, and both teams really arrived into this game probably not in the best of form, so a point isn't the worst result to get at Cardiff, no matter what team you are. But moving into the actual detailed top part of this video now, we're going to talk about what happened. And the first half in particular, it wasn't our best half, not by a mile. And the thing that really frustrates me sometimes, I love the passing, this whole idea of football we want to play. It's good, and it's refreshing to see us play with such crisp football. It looks great. When it came off last week against Millwall, it looked fantastic. But my only issue with it is sometimes we're not playing at much of a tempo. And a lot of possession sometimes, it's in our own half and it's in our own box sometimes. And I noticed a lot yesterday in that game where we get past the halfway line and we get to about, we're getting to around the final third, and it just breaks down so easily. A couple of sloppy passes here and there, and we're losing the ball again. And because the style of play we want to play, the fullbacks push up, and we commit a lot of men forward. We did find ourselves caught short sometimes, and that's what happened. How it led to the first goal. But I'll talk about it a little bit later on. But I just thought sometimes we need to increase the tempo. This sideways, backwards passing, it's okay. I know sometimes you've got to start from the back, and it's good when it looks good to try and draw the opposition in and allow us to go up the pitch and progress further. Of course, I understand that. But I just think sometimes the play's a bit too slow. I think if we're really going to improve and play this style of play, there's got to be more of a tempo there. If we want to try and strike fear into these teams, then we've got to play a bit more of a tempo, a bit more flair, and a bit more pace. Because last night it was very slow build-up play. And as I said before, we got to the final third, and we were sloppy a lot of the time. Poor shots, poor decision making at least. So there's things there that have to be improved on if we want to really become a force this season and really emerge as a big contender to try and get into the top two. Because I believe we can, but we need to just play a bit more of a tempo and a bit more fluent and just try and play on the front foot a bit more. Because I didn't see enough of that last night. But talking about the first goal, we can see the Cardiff goal. The first goal of the game. What happened was we lose the ball, didn't we, high up the pitch? And this is what I was talking about. We lose it high up the pitch. A simple ball into the channel. Josh Murphy, I think it is. Or was it Jacob Murphy? I can't remember which one. I think it's Josh. He obviously gets a good break there. Steven Sessegnon's just caught on the wrong side of him, which allows Josh Murphy to get a breakthrough. And he gets a clear run at goal. And to be honest with you, it's a poor shot. Let's be honest, it's not a great shot. It's not in the corner. It's effectively straight at Marcus Bettinelli. And it's not hit with much power either. There's not much conviction in the shot, which was another thing that really frustrated me. And I've seen on social media last night, a lot of other supporters kind of felt the same as what I was thinking. And Marcus gets down, of course, he gets down, gets a left glove to it, not enough on it, and of course it goes in. But my problem with that is, he's let that one go in, but 5 minutes later or so, Glatzel's a chance. Similar angle, similar shot, albeit from the exact same type of angle, going across the keeper this time. Same left hand that obviously wasn't working 5 minutes before, somehow springs to life and he makes a save. And it's just the inconsistency there which frustrates me with Marcus, because I think as a goalkeeper, as a shot stopper, he's not too bad at all. But in the same breath, what we want to do with the ball at his feet, I just don't think a goalkeeper of his ability is good enough to play with the ball at his feet. The distribution sometimes is sloppy. And sometimes it just frustrates me a bit. I mean, Rodak played well during midweek, and for whatever reason he didn't play last night, and I hope he will get a chance to. I've said time and time again on these videos, Rodak's a decent goalkeeper. I watched him a lot last season and the season before at Rotherham. He's had 2 good seasons there, and lots of Rotherham fans were very happy with him. I'd love to see him get a go, because I think this goalkeeping position at this football club, we've not had a proper number one, or a solid number one since Mark Schwarzer. You look at the goalkeepers we've had in the past, Gabor Kiraly, Jesse Oronen, Joe Lewis, Andy Lonergan, David Button. There's loads of goalkeepers who've come and gone within the past couple of years since we've been relegated, and not one's been Not one goalkeeper. I mean, you look at Rico and Fabry, two to name two, and not one goalkeeper's been able to really hold down a permanent position or a consistent run of games as number one for a season at least. I know Marcus did have his injury problems a couple of seasons ago, which probably meant that he didn't get as much game time back then as he wanted. But the goalkeeper position's been a problem for ages now, and it still hasn't been sorted. I mean, look at all the managers we had as well who haven't sorted this goalkeeping problem out. And Scott Parker, to me, from what I've seen early on, it looks like we're going to have this problem again throughout the whole of the season. And it doesn't bode well for me. It's just a conundrum area, and it's got to be sorted out. But the first goal was poor to concede, and defensively, I didn't think we were too bad last night. But there's room for improvement there as well. Of course, Steven Sessegnon, he's 19. Look, he hasn't had much first team football. He's going to play a few games this season, but he's 19. He's still very, very raw. He needs to be developed in the right way. But my only issue with that is, if you look towards the backup options of Cyrus, Christie and whoever else is there, they ain't good enough, really. And if you're going to rotate, then that's what worries me. Steven will have to be rotated at some point because he can't play every game. He's 19, we don't want to burn him out. But the quality we've got underneath him isn't really exciting me, and a lot of other fans too, and that does worry me as well. The goal, our equalising goal, was, I thought, quite fortunate. Cardiff surprisingly done something that they don't do on the Warnock a lot, and that switch off. We got to a good little position down the right hand side, intricate bit of play, ball across the box. Sean Morrison leaves it. Gavin White don't track Mitrovic. He sneaks in, taps it in, and it came out nothing. Cardiff's lead lasted 3 minutes, and we're back in the game. I was hoping then at half time Scott Parker would deliver a rallying cry to the boys, and we'd come out second half with a bit more of a raised performance, but it didn't seem to happen. And we had a couple of sniffs, and it happened, of course. And then obviously the big talking point came when Harry Arter, the first tackle we did was an obvious yellow. It's a late challenge from Joe Rules. No matter what minute of the game you're going to do that in, you're going to get booked, and it's fair enough. But the thing that annoys me about the sending off, you can see, look, Sean Morrison, the leg goes out. Let's be honest, his leg comes out. I don't know how much contact there was. We don't know. But his foot comes out to initiate a foul. Harry Arter goes down in stage, and he goes down very, very late, which is you can understand. I'm not saying you can understand why, but he goes down late. The thing that and what annoys me is the linesman originally, as soon as Harry Arter goes down, the linesman flags for the corner. I think the reaction from Harry Arter, if he just gets up and walks away, I don't think he gets sent off there. But because he gets up, he smacks the floor, he's rolling around, it gives the referee something to think about. And Neil Warnock's in the full official's ear moaning about it as well. All the Cardiff players have gone to the linesman just saying it. And it gives then the referee something to think about. And the referee, again, I thought was terrible last night. We had a clear penalty waved away. Lee Peltier, cross coming from Cavallero. He's not even watching the ball. His eyes are fixated on Mitrovic. His back's to him. He's grabbing Mitrovic. He's pulling him down. If the referee hasn't seen that, the referee had a good view of it. If he hasn't seen that, then why hasn't the linesman picked up? The linesman's looking straight on. The ball's going into the box. The linesman's facing straight on. He's got the best view of everybody, in my opinion. He can see what's going on straight down that line. He didn't even pick it up. And it really frustrated me last night because that is a stonewall penalty and it just doesn't get given. It's manhandling in the box. What more do you have to do? It's just so obvious. It really frustrated me because it's a stonewall penalty. Lee Peltier's not watching the ball at all. And, Harry Arter's second yellow card was stupid of him, really, and perhaps he did deserve to be sent off. There's no two ways around it. It was silly, and I don't know why he did it. And that's the type of player he is. You're going to get the moments with a player like him. He's a hothead. It was a bit of a loose cannon last night, I felt, for large parts of the game, which was frustrating. But to me, we never really did enough to win the game. And we were lucky in the end, I felt, to hold on at 1-1. We showed some resilience in the end. Cardiff did deliver a bit more of an aerial bombardment towards the end, long throws, set of pieces, to try and win the game. They didn't have enough in the end to get that winning goal. But we're going to the international break now with 10 points, I think it is. It's not too bad, really. If you asked me that for the start of the season, I'd have probably taken it. We're in the top 6, which is where we wanted to be, of course. West Brom up next at home will be tough, and it's kind of gutting that Harry Arter won't be there for that game because they've got a good midfield there. Look at the midfield, Jack Livermore's in there. He's the anchor of the midfield. They've got that couple of good young players too, so it's going to be a hard game there, but there's plenty of room for improvement, and I hope that as the season goes on, we'll start seeing a bit more tempo with our play, and hopefully we can start climbing the table. If you enjoyed it, guys, hit the thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff too, and we'll see you very soon. Bye bye.